Nigeria observes World Stroke Day. Buhari sends list of NDDC board to Senate. Another Nigerian murdered in South Africa. And in sports, 2020 Olympics, Tokyo vs 2020 gymnastics venue. Good evening and welcome to MCL News with Chimezie Ozems. A new president of our Aba Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, ASEMA, has been sworn into office. He is Sir Lawrence Obeta. Sir Obeta, who took the oath of office alongside other members of the new executive body. In his inaugural speech, the new president promised to take the chamber and Abia business community to a greater height. The event attracted captains of industry and Abia State Governor Dr. Kezie Ikpeazun. The governor was represented by Commissioner for Small and Medium Enterprises, Mr. Onyema Wachuku. Details of this report will be brought to you in our subsequent bulletin. Nigeria today joined the rest of the global community to mark this year's World Stroke Day. It is a day set aside to create public awareness about this deadly disease. Ms. Homer Namocha reports that the talking point of the 2019 World Stroke Day is "Don't be the one." The report.
Stroke is one of the leading causes of death the world over. Based on projection by the World Health Organization (WHO), it is likely to increase in developing countries of the world in the next 2 decades. According to data, the current prevalence of stroke in Nigeria is 1.14 per 1,000. Stroke in this part of the world is seen as spiritual attack. It occurs when the blood supply to the brain or artery is blocked. There are 2 types of stroke: ischemic and hemorrhagic.
Thrombotic stroke, or what we call ischemic stroke, is when there is a blockage on the artery. When there is this blockage, the blood flow in that artery will not be flowing. That is to say that the other side of the brain will not be getting adequate oxygen and blood supply. As a result, the person will have deficiency on one side of the body. We call it thrombotic or ischemic stroke. While bleeding stroke is a stroke whereby there is rupture of the artery. The artery that's mainly involved in the stroke is middle cerebral artery. And when this artery got ruptured, the blood will now be rushing out from the artery and bleeding into the brain.
Some of the factors that cause stroke are hypertension, diabetes, high cholesterol, lack of exercise, obesity, heart diseases, high alcohol intake, and smoking. There are certain symptoms that manifest before stroke strikes. They are inability to move one part of the body, difficulty in talking, dizziness, loss of balance, headache, and weakness of the body, among others. A medical practitioner, Dr. Ugochukwu Okoro, pointed out that formerly, older people were mostly at risk, but recently, younger people suffer the disease too. Dr. Okoro advised people to always check their blood pressure as it contributes 70 to 80% to stroke. He further said that stroke can be prevented by eating a healthy diet, especially fruits and vegetables, exercising regularly, avoid smoking, and excessive intake of alcohol.
People should get an immediate doctor, see the doctor, let the doctor instruct you or guide you on what to do. And another one I would make people not to have stroke is when you are eating fruits and vegetables. Depends so much on fruits and vegetables. and then one can also do exercise every day. Don't just run away from exercise, and always take a more further.
The medical practitioner urged the government to help in the fight against stroke by awareness creation and making the drugs affordable to sufferers.
President Muhammadu Buhari has sent list of nominees for the board of Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC) to the Senate. This was disclosed in a letter read by the President of the Senate, Senator Ahmed Lawal, during plenary on Tuesday. Buhari also requested for the screening and confirmation of the board members. Wogu is Abia State nominee. The federal government on Tuesday rolled out new measures to check the spread of fake news and hate speech in the country. Minister of Information and Culture Alhaji Lai Mohammed disclosed this at a media briefing in Abuja. Alhaji Lai said the National Broadcasting Commission (NBC) have been given the nod to apply higher fines on broadcast stations that engage in fake news and hate speeches. According to him, the fines have been raised from $500,000 naira to 5 million naira for infraction and may ultimately result in the withdrawal of the broadcast license by the NBC in extreme cases. He said the regulation as planned by the government would be in line with global best practices. Vice President Yemi Osibajo has called for concerted action by countries around the world towards tackling terrorism in the Sahel region. Osibajo made the call when he received a delegation of members of Egypt's Parliament, House of Representatives, led by its Speaker, Dr. Ali Abdel Al-Sayed Ahmad. The delegation also included the Egyptian ambassador to Nigeria, Asim Hanifai El-Sefi. Osibajo, who received the delegation on behalf of President Muhammadu Buhari, noted that Egypt and Nigeria have enjoyed very good relations over the years. The federal government said it will support African integration programs, but not the ones that threaten the laws of sovereign states in the continent. Minister of State for Labor and Employment Festus Keyamo stated this when he received the African Union Labor Migration Advisory Committee led by Dr. Alvis Almada. Keyamo said that Nigeria was committed to the promotion of trade, movement of persons, goods and services, and infrastructural development within the continent. He also decried the rising cases of irregular migration to Europe and other non-African countries, saying it constituted a big problem in Africa and that steps should be taken to discourage the trend. Dr. Alvis Almada said they were in Nigeria to explore ways of strengthening collaboration with the federal government to promote African integration through job creation for Africans. The Senate Committee on Sustainable Development Goals on Monday worked out the Minister of State for Works and Housing, Abubakar Aliyu. Members of the committee said he was unqualified to defend the ministry's budget. Aliyu had appeared before lawmakers to defend the 2020 budget proposal as the Minister of Works and Housing. Babatunde Fashola had failed to appear before the committee on the grounds that he traveled out of the country. However, the committee's chairman, Al-Shaq Dahiru, blocked the junior minister from presenting the budget, saying he is new in the ministry and insisting on Fashola's appearance. According to Dahiru, it was important that Fashola appears to clarify the implementation of some 2019 social development goals projects. Fashola had been overseeing the ministry since November 2015, while Abubakar was appointed minister in August 2019. Meanwhile, the House of Reps on Monday decried the poor budgetary allocation to the National Center for Women Development, Abuja. You are watching MCL News. Still to come. Minimum wage consequential payments depend on state's capital. Federal government disagree on enrollment of universities into IPPIS. Army needs more funds to tackle insurgency. Prototype. 2020 Olympics. Tokyo unveils 2020 gymnastics. Details of this and other stories after the break. Stay tuned.
Somebody baby, somebody baby.
Apple's Fried Chicken Limited, but don't carry come again, yo. Oh yeah, make una listen. You be Romy or Juju, Papa or Mama, Bobo or Sisi, Pikin, uncle and auntie them, even including our village people. Apple's Fried Chicken Limited for 54 Okibo Road, Aba. They promise say them go give you, yes, I mean you, hey you, huge discount for this month of Independence. Yes, so the discount will wait for you. For Apple's Fried Chicken Limited, just waka JJ enter our office and enjoy our continental or African dishes, including our varieties of pastries, and see how we go summer you with confirmed huge discount. Go come no day. This one now what I pay. You know say we know the doll now. Over the years now, we done the give una quality foods and pastries. So therefore keep enjoying Apple's Fried Chicken. For more to recall 0703-890-9708 or 0706-520-5854. Apples, experience the test.
Do not deface Abia State with posters. Do not defecate on our streets. Do not litter Abia State.
My brothers, I say wetin man go do for this world where people no go talk. If you chop,
Do not urinate in public places.
you no chop, dem go talk. Wetin make we do for this world? I say make we go do the things wey we carry for heart. Na so world want am. Abi no be so?
Keep Abia State clean. This message is brought to you by MCLtv.
Welcome back. You are watching MCL News. We are joining our woman here studio for the continuation of the news. Nora Okafor is our guide.
Welcome to Umuahia. I am Mara Kafo. As Nigerians join the rest of the international community to mark this year's World Stroke Day, Dr. Chinagozie Adindo has encouraged frequent medical checkup as a potent method against stroke attacks. He also highlights the common causes of stroke at a tender age. World Stroke Day is celebrated annually on 29th of October following the resolution of the United Nations. Precious Izimbo reports.
Today is World Stroke Day. It is a day set aside by the United Nations to put the fight against stroke on the front burner of global health agenda. A stroke is a disruption of oxygenated blood to the brain. Stroke can be caused by a blood clot formed in the heart and transmitted to the brain. According to World Health Organization, stroke is a global leading cause of disability and the second leading cause of death. The United Nations body stated that 87% of both stroke-related deaths and disability occur among the low and middle-income earners globally. Stroke. Speaking to MCL News, Dr. Chinagozie Adindo of the Federal Medical Center Umuahia elaborates more on this.
The situation that is caused by maybe shortage of supply of blood to the brain and to some other vital organs can be attributed to stress, high blood pressure, when it goes to a very high level, then it can lead to cardiac arrest.
Stroke cases oftentimes occur at a younger age, depending on individual characteristics. Dr. Adindo speaks on the causes of stroke and preventive measures to take.
As much as possible to make sure that we reduce pressure and stress. And then we should equally watch our diet, and then we should go for check our BP, from time to time, so that whenever we have rise in blood pressure, then we handle it before it gets to a situation where we now have stroke.
With the theme for this year's World Stroke Day, the need for regular checkup becomes most paramount. Precious Izimbo, MCL News.
The Iowa State House of Assembly Ad Hoc Committee Chairman on incessant attacks at the Sioux community in Arochukwu local government area and its neighboring communities in Cross River State, Ifeanyi Uchendo, has called on the Iowa State House of Assembly, the Iowa State Government, the National Emergency Management Agency, and the State Emergency Management Agency to, as a matter of urgency, come to the aid of the community. The Deputy Speaker said the displaced persons in the community need shelter and other means of livelihood. A correspondent reports that the appeal was contained in a report submitted to the House by the committee during Tuesday's plenary. The report. This followed the displacement of the community and loss of lives over land dispute crisis between the community and two border communities in Cross River State. The committee chairman revealed that 3 communities in Isu were destroyed owing to the attacks and 40 lives lost, while the people abandoned their means of livelihood and homes. He called on the boundary committee in the state headed by the Deputy Governor Ude Okochukwu to liaise with his Cross River State counterparts to ensure lasting peace, while calling on Abia State Commissioner of Police to ensure the restoration of our police posts at Isu. Uchendo also urged that the National Boundary Commission be invited to delineate the boundary between both states and ensure that all security machinery in the state are mobilized to beef up security at Isu and other border towns and communities.
That the farm settlement located at Obuga and Amusu in OPS were completely destroyed. That the Abia State Commissioner of Police should restore the police post at Igusu from the former one was destroyed.
The House also considered a report by the Ad Hoc Committee on the killing of Ikedi Chukwu Christian Egu by the law enforcement agency guarding Aquari site in Ruru, Lokmanta, Umunnochi, also headed by Ifeanyi Uchendo. The committee recommended that the commissioners of police of Abia and Ebonyi investigate the matter and ensure justice is served at all costs.
Commissioner of Police in Abia and Ebonyi should investigate the death of Mr. Ikechukwu Christian of Kumu community in the Umunochi local government area of Abia State to ensure that justice is given to the bereaved family.
Both reports were transmitted to the Committee of the Whole for further legislative hearing. HAB6, the Abia State Consumer Protection Agency Bill 2019, passed first reading. Nora Okafor, MCL News. Away from Abia State, the House of Representatives has asked President Muhammadu Buhari to stop plans by the Nigerian army to impose Operation Positive Identification in the country. This follows a motion of urgent public importance by Minority Leader Ududi Elumeyu. The lawmaker, who raised concerns over the planned nationwide implementation of the program, says it is a recipe to possible militarization of Nigeria. Other lawmakers and supporters of the motion maintained that such plan by the army would lead to the infringement on fundamental rights of Nigerians as enshrined in the 1999 Constitution. The House subsequently mandated its Committee on Army to work with the Chief of Army Staff on the planned program before adjourning for 1 week. To ease traffic along Lagos-Ibadan Express Road, the federal government has disclosed plans to commence free train services from Ibuta-Meta, Lagos to Ibadan by November 30th, 2019. Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi mandated China Civil Engineering Construction Company, which is handling the project, to complete the remaining 19-kilometer track to link Iju-Ishaga to Ibuta-Meta by November 25th. But the deputy project manager, Zing June, complained of the feasibility of the state, urging the government to give the firm more time as the weather conditions and the traffic gridlocks on Lagos metropolis would not allow them to deliver on the November date. The Central Bank of Nigeria's Governor Godwin Emefiele says the federal government's decision to shut the nation's land borders against the neighboring countries still stands. Emefiele, who held a closed-door meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari at the presidential villa Abuja, noted that since the closure, Nigerian rice and poultry farmers have been benefiting from the development. He said the closure has enabled farmers in the country to market all their accumulated produce, which were before now left unsold as a result of illegal importation and smuggling of same items into the country. Nigeria is bordered by the Niger Republic in the north and Benin Republic in the west. The two countries are noted as having several smuggling routes into Nigeria. The closure had earlier raised concerns among Nigerians as the immediate effect was felt through a general rise in the prices of food items. This led to a policy-induced pressure on inflation that caused 0.22% rise to 11.24% in September against 11.02% in August. Emefiele said the development had negatively affected Nigeria's economy, adding that the government was determined to keep the borders closed until all engagements in connection with the issues were concluded with the neighbor.
Thank you, Nora, and welcome back to Aba. The 36 state governors under the umbrella of Nigeria Governors Forum have said minimum wage consequential payments depend on the capacity of states to pay. The chairman of the forum and Ekiti State Governor, Kayode Fayemi, said this at the end of a meeting of the Nigerian Governors Forum in Abuja on Monday. In a communique issued at the end of the meeting, the forum commended the rapid response of the Nigerian Center for Disease Control and the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency in curbing the August yellow fever outbreak, which broke out across parts of the country. The governors also commended the progress made by state governments through their social health insurance authorities to enroll and provide health insurance cover for citizens across the country in the last 1 year. The forum remembered Dr. Stella Dedevo, the physician who attended to patient O during the Ebola outbreak in 2014 in Lagos State. The communique was read by chairman of the forum and Ekiti State Governor Kayode Fayomi. The Academic Staff Union of Universities ASU in Owerri on Monday rejected the plan by the federal government to include university workers in the Integrated Payroll and Personnel Information System IPPIS. The union said that it had offered to be given the opportunity to develop an alternative to IPPIS. The zonal coordinator of the union in Owerri Zone, Comrade Rosa Onyembinama, said this on Monday at a press conference held at Imo State University, Owerri. He said the press conference was called to draw attention to burning issues that might lead to a breach of the industrial harmony in universities. According to Onyembinama, IPPS violates university autonomy and federal government and ASU agreement and did not address the peculiarity inherent in the nature and structure of universities. The Consul General of Nigeria in Johannesburg, Mr. Godwin Adama, has confirmed the murder of another Nigerian, Mr. Chikamso Ford, in South Africa. The news agency of Nigeria NAN gathered that the deceased was allegedly shot dead by unknown assailants in a suspected love affair tangle. Adama said that such incidences are common in South Africa, with one of the highest crime rates in the world. He further appealed to Nigerians in that country to operate within the confines of the law and not engage in activities that would compromise their security. President of Nigerian Citizens Association in South Africa, Mr. Ben Okoli, also confirmed the death in a telephone interview with NAN on Tuesday in Abuja. Okoli explained that the incident happened on Friday night, 25th October, around Nigel area of Johannesburg, South Africa. A custom-built gymnastics venue has been unveiled by organizers of the Tokyo 2020 Olympics on Tuesday. The gymnastics center in central Tokyo uses 2,300 cubic meters of wood and is intended to hark back to methods that predate the use of modern construction materials in Japan. The organizers said the building, one of a handful custom built for the games, symbolizes Japan's wood culture. Built at a cost of 20.5 billion yen, the venue features a dome ceiling constructed from Japanese larch with no steel framework and is among the largest of its kind in the world. The venue can seat 12,000 spectators on long benches and will host Olympic artistic, rhythmic and trampoline events as well as Paralympic backyard. That's the size of our packet, but before we draw the curtain, here is a recap of our major stories. Nigeria today joined the rest of the global community to observe this year's World Stroke Day. It is a day set aside to create public awareness about the deadly disease. President Muhammadu Buhari has sent list of nominees for the board of Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC) to the Senate for screening and confirmation. The Consul General of Nigeria in Johannesburg, Mr. Godwin Adama, has confirmed the murder of another Nigerian, Mr. Chikamso Ford, in South Africa, and also brought you the report that a custom-built gymnastics venue has been unveiled by organizers of the Tokyo 2020 Olympics on Tuesday. That's the news. Thanks for watching. My name is Chimezie Ozems. Stay tuned for Akokowa with Nkechi Uwoma. Good night.